Radio
BBC
Northampton.
Local Radio.
Okay, but for Christmas a few years ago, I got a pasta maker. I mean, lovely ideas. Oh, I'll cook a Victoria sponge. Oh, I'll do the kids a gingerbread cake for Christmas. You know, something like that, a gingerbread house. And then it's just not gone to plan at all. Talking of gingerbread houses, actually, we're going to be hearing from someone who was a contestant on Great British Bake Off, but the American version. She's actually taken part in my Saturday Superstars tonight, which is where I pit two people together on a topic. And of course, we can expect Great British Bake Off back on our TVs on Tuesday. This brings us to the 26th, doesn't it, Tuesday? So I'm going to pit two people together tonight for Saturday Superstars. Around 11:30, we're going to see who wins. And yeah, one of them contestants was a contestant on the American version of Great British Bake Off. So her knowledge is great. She's a great cook. Her gingerbread house collapsed. So we're talking baking fails tonight. If you one that took part in the American version of Great British Bake Off, but it's filmed in England. So I'm pitting two people, a huge fan of Great British Bake Off and a contestant of the American version of Great British Bake Off. So they're being pitted against each other for a lovely quiz in a few minutes' time. So we're talking baking fails as well, because I also absolutely failed at fresh pasta making tonight. It turned out thick and doughy and caters to cook, and we ended up just having like salmon and spinach without the pasta. It just didn't go to plan. So if you've got a story for me, this is the number. And, well, this week, the new series of Great British Bake Off is going to kick off. So that's on Channel 4 on Tuesday, the 26th of September. I guess technically next week, but hey, it's coming up to the weekend. That means cosy nights in and bakes. So dreamy. It always makes me hungry, though. So on this week's Saturday Night Superstars, I wanted to give it the platform it deserves, as there's been 13 series of it. So joining me, I have Caroline, also known as Caro, Ordukaya, and she runs the Great British Bake Off fans Facebook group, which has 17,000 members, and Sally Newton, who was a contestant on the American version of the show. And, well, I asked Caroline how long she's been a fan of Great British Bake Off.
Maybe 2014, 2015. But at that point, I think I was going back and watching the old ones. It was beginning to get quite popular then. And that's actually when I started doing the baking. That and, Anna Olsen. Those were the only two baking programmes that I learned a lot from.
Do you find that it inspired you quite a lot with your cooking?
Yes, absolutely. Just the whole learning process of it, to be equipped with other skills basically. But it was always done in a nice way on the programme as well, very supportive. And, you know, it wasn't like a big thing if you had disasters, you were learning from it. You know, it's very different to a lot of the American shows. I probably shouldn't say that, but yeah.
No, I do know what you mean. It's probably a kind of job that you learn a lot when doing it rather than being taught it. So like the fact that you're seeing chefs kind of live in the kitchen, you're learning as you go. So anything that goes wrong for them, you're like, right, yeah, I wouldn't have known that. And then you're picking it up, which is really, really cool.
You're more likely to remember your fails, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
lots of them.
Go on then, what's been your biggest fail?
Oh, well, I won't even tell you what stuck to the bundt pan yesterday. Me who advocates this homemade lining paste that you use so that, you know, that the bundt cake comes out the tin or whatever is in the tin. I ran out of it and was too lazy to make more. And of course, most of the cake never came out the tin in one piece.
Oh no, I think we've all been there. That isn't as tragic as you think. I mean, how disappointing though, all that hard work.
I've changed a lot and I didn't panic. I took photos of it so I could show right here, this is what you don't do.
As long as you can laugh about it, then it's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Is it kind of cakes that are your forte, would you say?
I do a bit of everything, but I'm no expert on any one thing. Sally, on the other hand, with her fascination or addiction, as she would put it, with her macarons and her bread and her cookies, her cookie designs and her artwork. She thinks she's not an artist, but she is. You need to see these. Shame and saying, don't do that, don't.
They're already the tough ones, though, aren't they? Like macaroons, bread. They're the really tough things to get baking. So you must come across a lot of people like sharing their amazing work on the Facebook page then. So tell us about this fan page that you have on Facebook.
I didn't form the group. It was our friend Christine, who goes by another nickname of CJ, which was also the reason why we had the nicknames with Zoom calls and things. We had initials that were all the same initials, so we became CJ and Caro and everyone else. But she formed the group, and basically the group, the ethos that we try to keep in it is it being a kind and supportive group. There's no, you can't come on being nasty to people. It's all supportive. Yeah, if it's a fail, this is what you could maybe do next time, try that. Or encourage people to go ahead and make things. And during COVID, people described it as a safe haven because we would not let anything else in, and we don't have it, it's a private group, but we also have it hidden a lot of the time because we don't want it to be a big 100,000 group like the rest of them. And it's not just about GBO anymore, it's all about baking, our love of that and our fondness of each other that's in the group as well. There's lots and lots of people who have met up from one end of the world to the other, have met up or became really good friends. Sally's over in Kansas, I'm in Glasgow, but it all brings us together, and it is GBO that's brought us together.
How amazing though, because that's just where, when you use social media well, it can do amazing things because, as you said, you've kind of gotten to know each other online since, you know, 2019 or whatever. How amazing is that? You may never have crossed paths being in America and Glasgow. So it just goes to show it really is something that can bring people together. So Sally, then, it's your turn to not be modest. You were on the American version of Bake Off. So for those that don't know, it's called The Great American Baking Show. But it is filmed in England. So first off, was that your first little taste of England?
No, I had been in England maybe 4 times before. That was, of course, completely different because the excitement of being in the tent and being in England for that kind of a goal, that changed everything. So it's almost like it was my first time in England.
Oh, I bet. Very fast-paced as well, right?
Oh, yeah, incredibly fast.
And Paul Hollywood was the judge. I mean, how incredible to have someone like that judging you.
What is amazing about the whole thing is that I've been watching the show for so many years. So you have that vision of the tent and, of course, of Paul Hollywood's blue eyes and everything. But then when you go there and you experience it yourself, it's mind-blowing. I mean, I'm never going to forget that first walk, you know, when you go through the tent and they are filming all the contestants on the first day. You know, everybody is so excited. A very unique experience that I'm never going to forget.
No, it is once in a lifetime, and you're actually a chemist over in America. So is it like a side thing, like a passion? How do you even find the time?
I think baking is my passion, no doubt about it. I would say that I started with bread, sourdough, which I started baking maybe, I would say 16 years ago. But I never thought about baking other kinds of things. And then I started watching the Great British Bake Off and seeing everything that people could do, you know, in different areas like cookies and pies. And I just decided to start, and I started with macarons, which is probably not a very good thing to start because they are a little tricky. But once I got obsessed with baking macarons, that kind of opened my horizons to everything else. You know, I used to be what I call a bakelphobe. I could not bake a cake. So it was a little bit of a self-imposed challenge that became a passion. And now I just want to try everything.
I mean, yeah, macaroons and bread, some of the hardest things to be starting out with. How did the series go for you when you were on it?
I was eliminated on the 3rd episode, and that was pretty hard to take because it was a gingerbread sculpture that collapsed. So, you know, all the drama that you can imagine about being eliminated happened to me. I have to say, it was pretty devastating when it happened. But, you know, the first episode, I got first in technical. So as I told my husband, I started very good and then things started going wrong. It was a fantastic experience. And I'm very glad that I went through it. But, you know, things happen when you're in the tent.
Well, exactly. And people remember you for those things as well, which can't be a bad thing,
No,
though.
Don't tell her that.
No, it's not always a bad thing. You know what? It's just one of them things that you have no control over. Like, there must be baking incidents all the time. You know, when you get a really hot day and a professional baker has baked a wedding cake, I just feel for those bakers, you know, and it's just melting as you're putting the icing on. You just can't help some things. And I can imagine when you've got cameras right in front of you, when you're not an actor, or it's so difficult, surely.
It is very, very stressful because, you know, with the show, in the TV, what you see is a very small snippet of what happens. So, in fact, they are constantly asking you questions and coming with the microphone when you would rather be left alone. So, how is it going? And all of a sudden, you have this microphone and then the cameras. But it was fun. You never know what it's like until you have lived through it.
Absolutely. Have you managed to make a gingerbread house since?
Yes, actually, when I was practicing, I made 4, and they never collapsed. But you know, there was a little problem with the powdered sugar in the UK, which is different from the powdered sugar in the US. And the thing is, if something goes wrong in the tent, it's very hard to fix it if you start getting nervous. It's just like my heart was racing so much. Can I just run away now?
Yeah, I can totally imagine it feels like that. Honestly, hands down to anyone that does any show like that, because it's so difficult when you're trying to perfect a craft and they're in your face. Just like you're looking at the time, thinking I've got a minute left for the bread, and then they're asking you how it's going. And obviously, you're an active member of Caro's fan page as well. So that's how you guys have kind of connected. How has the group helped you over the years?
I have to say, there are many, many places in the internet and Facebook groups. No other group is like hers. It is just unbelievable what Christine did when she started. Caro, she teaches so much. I mean, her blog with the lessons on baking, it's amazing. If you want to be a baker, you just log into her site. It's like a real safe place for you to be yourself, interact with other people who have a passion for baking. I cannot say enough positive things about it.
Baking is, you know, a hobby for a lot of people. It's also a lifestyle and a job for a lot of people. So the fact that you've brought a community together here, Caroline, is just lovely to be able to help each other, because everyone always needs tips, don't they, on the secret little things that help little, you know, other ingredients work really well together. Caroline, just quickly, you do run a baking company then that provides those baking lessons online. So that must be quite fun.
Well, it started as online lessons, free online lessons. Live lessons is something that I'm trying to get off the ground at the end of the year. But yeah, it takes an awful lot to run a website you wouldn't believe. I'm trying to teach people everything that I have picked up and learned along the way. And as you said, things, all the little tips, things that they don't tell you in recipes, but also I think the baking as well, especially from COVID, a lot of people are finding it's very therapeutic. You know, it's very good for mental health and, you know, and stress and things like that, you know, it is a good thing for anyone to have. You know, it doesn't need to just be about making cakes at the end of the day. It could be making anything from scratch. Self-accomplishment as well is another thing that you can get from it. It's my passion, my obsession. Sally's is her bread and her cookies and her macarons. But I'm sure there'll be a 4th one soon. She has sent me cookies before.
Oh, that's incredible.
She has sent me cookies.
Overseas, I love it. I'll hold you to that, Sally. So on that note, it is time for our little quiz, which is my Saturday night superstar. I'm going to give you 5 questions each. And no pressure, you guys are fans. I mean, you've practically done the show, Sally, so let's just test your knowledge against one another and we'll see who our Saturday superstar is. You may even draw, and I do have a tiebreaker question because
we'll
it
draw
happens
on 0 if that's possible.
Are we feeling ready?
Oh, yes, baby.
Not really, but yeah.
Not really, but I'll pretend.
Lovely. Okay, well, here goes. In no particular order, Caroline, we're starting with you. Who was the first ever winner of Great British Bake Off?
Oh, that was Ed Kimber. Is that his name, Ed Kimber?
That is the first correct answer. Well done, you. You've got 1 point. Okay.
Okay, so we bet 0. Okay.
You beat 0. Over to Sally. Who stole accidentally Howard's custard in series 4?
Oh my God, I don't remember the name. I remember exactly what happened. It was so sad, but I don't remember the name. I'm horrible with names.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard. In that case, I'm afraid I do have to give you a wrong point, but the answer...
It's okay, no problem.
The answer was Deborah Manger.
Oh, yes.
Would you have got that?
Yes. I don't think so. As I said, I'm really horrible with names. And also, I should say that the first seasons of The Great British, I couldn't watch because they never showed in the US.
All right. Back over to you then, Caroline. Nadia Hussein was the winner in 2015, but what was her winning showstopper?
Oh! It wasn't the bubblegum thing. Was it the peacock? Was it a peacock? Was it a peacock cake, or was it something else constructed out of peacock?
Is that your final answer?
I'll just say peacock, but I can't remember what it was.
That is wrong. It was My Big Fat British Wedding Cake.
I don't even remember that.
Ah!
Rubbish!
The peacock sounds good, though. The peacock sounds good. Okay, Sally, over to you, and you should get this one. So this is your chance to get 1 point, okay? Who is the only original cast member remaining, Sally?
Oh, Paul Hollywood.
That is correct. Yes, I told you. You'd each get 1.
That was...
Yeah.
Right, I've drawn now.
Exactly.
Yes,
now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so clever.
This is back over to Caroline. What popular dessert ended up in the bin in 2014 after being accidentally removed from the freezer by another contestant? I'm after the dessert.
Oh, was it pavlova?
It's Ian's Baked Alaska.
Yes, I baked Alaska pavlova.
It's a similar thing. So is that the same word for it?
I think a half a point. I'll take half a point if you don't mind.
Yeah, I reckon they're more or less the same thing, right? I'm going to give you a whole point.
It looked like just ice cream by the time it went in the bin, but...
I even remember that. That was a really sad moment, to be fair. Okay, 2 points for you so far. I'm gonna give you that. Okay, Sally. Who was the winner in 2013 with a 3-tier cake inspired by A Midsummer Night's Dream? They're quite specific questions. 2013 with a 3-tier cake inspired by A Midsummer Night's Dream.
I really don't remember that one. I'm going to have to lose that point. Maybe you can ask Caro.
Caroline, would you know what that is?
Is it Francis?
It was Francis Quinn, yeah. There's no bonus points here, but if there
you
was,
go.
it would be yours. Okay, you really are a true fan. Right, Caroline.
That's awesome.
What is baked in the oven every day to check that the oven actually works?
Oh, Victoria sandwich.
Yes. You are winning this, aren't you?
You're just rocking this.
Sally, how many contestants are there at the start of the series?
12.
Correct. Okay.
Yes.
Sally, there we go. Sally, you're on 2. Caroline, you're on 3. Caroline, which TV presenter is new to the tent this year, replacing Matt Lucas?
Oh gosh, I can see their names went out of my mind, and I've just literally been posting about her. Oh
no, that's so frustrating.
I know. Oh, Alison is it Alison Hammond or something like that?
Correct.
Alison.
Correct.
Alison
Correct. You've got it. You've got it.
Oh my! I could not have lived that one down.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not when you just literally
That was
spoke
a
about
hard
it.
one.
Okay, Sally, where is Great
yes.
British Bake Off filmed?
Well, in London.
Yeah, do you know where the park is?
Oh gosh, I as I said, I'm horrific with names stuff. I was there, but I don't remember.
No worries. I mean, you live in America, so that was an unfair question for you, really.
Yeah.
Can you think of the name of the park at least?
No, I'm
No.
drawing a blank.
Do you know, Caroline?
The last one, I think they went back to was it the original one again? Was it Welford Park or something like that?
Yeah, that is the name of the park in Berkshire. Yeah. Those were actually the last questions. We do have our Saturday superstar, and that is Caroline. That is
Hey, Caroline, I
Caroline.
knew it.
With 4 points and Sally with 2. So you still smashed it. And to be fair, I feel like you got a little bit of the tougher string there, the tougher hand, Sally, because obviously you're not that familiar with England necessarily. So, guys, you've been absolute troopers. You are
Oh,
our
that's
superstar, though,
great.
Caroline, but obviously you're both superstars. Where can people find the fan page?
At the moment, it's open for new members, and Facebook it's called Great British Bake Off Fans. And if they do apply, they need to answer all 4 security questions, and the website is Caroline's Easy Online Baking Lessons as well. Just to put a plug in there.
Yeah, you go for it. You go for it. You're the superstar after all. And Sally, what's next for you? Do you think you'll be taking part on another TV show anytime soon?
Oh, I really doubt it because, I think I did that. That was good. But I rather do what I do now, which is